Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your day, because we are for sure. How you doing? Okay, if you can, say hello. And we appreciate that. We love when you can come on live. We understand that you can't always do that. That's why you can watch it after, or these will all be turned into podcasts. You can watch it on the Doctors and Podcasts on your favorite device. And hello, Lucille, you're number one. Brahim, number two today. Janice from Brampton is number 3 on our hit parade. And Wendy, number 4 from Markham. Yvonne, Petawawa, good morning. And Amber is on this morning from New Jersey. Rosalinda from the Kidneys of Canada, Niagara Falls. Sandy, Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Nellie, Nativity. And Marla from beautiful Oregon. Georgie in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Patricia is on from Florida. Hi, Cindy. Sandy from Chilliwack, British Columbia. Marine's on from Boca Raton, Florida, and Heather from Miramichi. Brahim says he was number 1. Frances Marie, good morning to you. Hi, Rosa, Maria, Diane, Peterborough, and Janine, how are you? Marlene, good morning. Bruno, how are you? North Bay, Ontario, Patricia's saying, have a wonderful day. Andrea's in the clouds. Frida from Devlin. Brendan, how are you? Saying good morning to Craig and Darla. Lisa, Fran, Orangeville, how are you, Fran? Cecilia, New Brunswick. Lorraine from British Columbia. You guys are so wonderful. Carol, West Virginia. Vashti, how are you? From Windsor. Carol, Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. And Marianne is in London, Ontario. Mary saying hi to Dave and Helga. And Bridget. And Patricia from Pulaski, Tennessee. Helga. Carol in Wasaga Beach. Wanda, Virginia. Wendy from Aylmer. Annette, comment ça va? Ça va bien. Denise, Oakville. Wanda from Ridgeway, Ontario. A couple of more guys. Hi, Kevin, where were you all morning? Karen, sunny Coldwater. Arlene, how are you? Francis from Vaughan. Sharon, Kansas, and it's rainy there. Okay. Etta, Danny Lay, well, it's sunny here. We finally got the memo for summer. Helga, Giovanna, Gwen, rainy Alberta. Eileen from Brampton, nice to have you on. Hi, Donna, Newfoundland. IT in Unionville. And Luella, I was waiting on you, Luella, from West Tennessee. Maria, Roxanne. Guys, we love you. I hate to miss anybody. Hi, Mary. And Elaine. Oh, we love you, Newfoundlanders. Annie, how are you? And Linda at the lake. Cheryl. Donna. Guys, and I really like when you say hello to each other too. Gail, Christine in Fort Worth, Texas. Meta. Okay, now. Okay, people were asking a few questions about our subject yesterday. Remember, we talked about the invention of the PET scan yesterday. So if you missed it, soon to be podcast. Okay, so don't worry about it. You can certainly view it at a later date. Now, okay, a few of the questions, okay, like Doc, like you're so negative. Well, I hate to be negative. You know me, I'm very upbeat, but I have to be honest, okay? I was around when Richard Nixon the President of the United States declared war on cancer. Okay? If I'm not mistaken, it was 1974. Might have been a little earlier, but I remember Nixon saying, we declare war on cancer, meaning we're going to get rid of it. Well, we've been at war for 50-something years, Canada and the United States, and guess what? We're losing the battle. We're not winning. We're losing. And you wouldn't hear much from me if we were winning. I'd be happy. I want to win. I like winning. But we're losing, okay? And let me give you a stat here on cancer. Up. What's the percentage? Hold on a minute. I just wrote it down. Here it is. Listen to this, guys. Okay? 200 billion is spent on cancer research every year. 200 billion. But the only thing to show for it is a 75% increase in global number of cancer deaths since 1990. Crazy. And I always used to say this when I had my radio show. I invite you, because here's the rules in Canada. If you are a charitable organization, your books are public. And I've done this. I've gone on the website of, for example, the Canadian Cancer Society. You can look at their budget, how much money they raised, how much money is spent on cancer research. That's a big problem that I have too. Even though 200 billion is spent in North America on cancer research, we're not getting much bang for the buck. Cancer's worse than ever. Plus, guys, if you look at their budgets, about 90% of it goes to salaries and promotion. 10% or less goes to research. They have huge budgets. And guys, if it was working, I'd be a happy puppy. Who hasn't been affected by cancer? Who? Every family is affected by cancer. You couldn't talk to anyone on the street that hasn't been affected by cancer. My family, lots of cancer. In my siblings, parents, I lost my mom, I lost my sister at a very young age with cancer. So we're all affected by it. And I just want the bang for the buck, guys. So when I give you a story on the PET scan, and there's no link in medical minds, there's no link. Well, let me rephrase that. Okay? Let me rephrase that. There is a link between cancer and food, according to medicine, but they're wrong about that because they blame steak, red meat, and they're happy to tell you that bacon is carcinogenic. They don't know anything about nutrition, but they're happy to tell you that. Oh, well, red meat and bacon, bad for cancer. And they'll tell you to stay out of the sun too. Sun, cancer. Thing is with melanoma, which is the deadly cancer, it's vast majority of those people, they hardly ever got in the sun. And where that melanoma shows up is where the sun don't shine. That's a fact. But they don't tell you that. Anyway, because a lot of people had questions afterwards on cancer, and I said, okay, I got to answer a few of them. And like I said, we're not winning the war. If we were winning the war, I'd be a happy puppy. Be a happy puppy. By the way, another study on coffee and cancer, okay? Another study, okay? Because it says here, coffee drinking was linked to lower odds of mouth and throat cancers. One of the most aggressive cancers that we're seeing lots of today, gone way up. You know what it is? Esophageal cancer. Esophageal cancer. And one of the reasons, and I'm telling you this, is a lack of eating meat. One of the things you get at Barrett's esophagus, which is a pre-cancer state, and then a lot of cancer that we never used to see. It's not like we never saw it, but it was very rare compared to what we see today. Let's look at cancers for a minute that are on the huge increase, like way, way more than we used to see. Esophageal. The throat cancers. Now, one of the biggest reasons for that is because we're eating the wrong food. Your stomach, yours, I'm talking about generalities here. The world's North Americans, let's stick here. Their stomachs are not being used properly. What? No. Because we're carboholics. Your stomach wasn't made to live on carbs. Your stomach was made to live on eggs, meat, and cheese. Yeah, you can have some plants. Yes, you can have some fruit. But it wasn't made to live on carbs. It just wasn't. And I always use the proof of the pudding is what is supposed to be your acid level, your pH level in your stomach. Worse than a lion, like more acidic than a lion. And the lion lives on meat. You have a stomach that has a pH that is supposed to be okay? Made for meat and eggs and dairy, good dairy, like butter and cream and full fat out of the cow milk, okay? Your body was made for that, is designed for that. You weren't designed to eat plants. You can eat them, but your body wasn't designed for it. Because a cow eats plants. And a cow has 4 stomachs. You almost need 4 stomachs to digest all that fiber. And you don't even make an enzyme, and neither do I, called cellulase. Rabbits have it. Cows have it. It's to break down the cellulose from veggies. And again, I'm not saying you can't have any veggies, okay? I'm just saying because we don't eat the way our body was designed, your body tries to produce the acid that your stomach isn't making. So you're making more acid. The problem is with that, it goes up the esophagus. Thus, I'm telling you, it's one of the biggest reasons that we see so much esophageal cancer. It's one of the main reasons. It's why we see so much acid reflux. That's why people live on proton pump inhibitors. They live on them because they insist on eating and living on carbohydrates. From pizza to breads to noodles to whatever, okay? And they want to live on that. And they wonder why we have so much esophageal cancer. Here's another one we have. Colorectal cancer. Right through the roof, guys, in terms of numbers. It used to be rare. Not anymore. And everybody goes, I wonder, we must not be eating as much fiber. Hello? We are eating more fiber than ever. The only thing doctors know about nutrition is, well, you better increase your fiber. That's why I want you to eat oatmeal, so you get your fiber. Right? They don't know much about nutrition, but they'll talk to you about fiber. You know what? There's more colorectal cancer now since we went fiber crazy. Brought to you by Kellogg's. Where does that come from? Okay? I saw someone put something, Dr. Martin, how about butyrate? Don't you need fiber to make butyrate? Well, I like butyrate. Okay? I like butyrate. Your microbiome, okay, it thrives with butyrate. Guess where you get butyrate? When you eat steak and dairy, like cheese. That's full of butyrate, not fiber. But that's the message today. Well, increase your fiber. That's why we're not eating enough fiber. We never ate so much fiber in our lives, guys. The population is very high on fiber. But colorectal cancer is through the roof. It's sugar, carbs, crappy carbs. Colorectal cancer, that's why we're seeing so much colorectal cancer, even in young people. That was an old man's disease. So was another one, pancreas cancer, pancreatic cancer, through the roof. Pancreatic cancer used to be a rare, I remember studying pancreatic cancer in school in the 70s. Who got pancreatic cancer in the 70s? Old men dying. Seriously. Not anymore. Not anymore. Through the roof, the statistics. Pancreatic. Well, let me give you a little guess. I wonder why. Do you think your pancreas, okay? Pancreas does a number of things. One of them is releasing enzymes, pancreatic enzymes like lipase, amylase, protease. Well, first of all, we're not using near enough protease because we don't eat near enough protein. We overuse our pancreas. especially the hormone insulin. You and I were never meant to be secreting insulin at the rate that we do. But because people insist, guys, insulin has a job to do. Okay? Whether you want it to do it or not, it has a job to do. It cannot allow sugar to park in your blood vessels. It can't allow it. It's a no parking zone for sugar because your body knows, your pancreas knows, sugar is toxic. So it has to be very tightly regulated. Empty out. This has been done, by the way. Don't do it because it's been done. Eat 20 donuts. Don't do it. Okay? Eat 20 donuts. Your insulin goes crazy. Because donuts is sugar and fat. Okay? Bad fat, bad sugar. Okay? That's a donut. You want to make a rat grow in a lab, or mice grow in a lab? They give them a donut. They call it rat chow. It's really a donut. Okay? Well, if you eat 20, your insulin from your pancreas, and they've tested this, it goes crazy. Comes out, gotta go, gotta come out of the pancreas because we gotta get to the bloodstream and take sugar and say, get the heck out of the blood. Out, 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 out. Sweep it. Out, 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 out. Can't stay there. You can't park there. I'm going to park you somewhere else. It looks for spaces in the muscles, especially there, because that's insulin's favorite parking zone. But when the muscles don't have enough parking spots left, guess what it does? It goes to the liver. The Costco parking lot. Uh-oh, not a lot of parking spots left in the liver. I got to make more. So you know what insulin does? It creates more parking spots. Yeah, fat. It creates parking spots for sugar. Fat. Have a look at the world today. Go to the mall today. Any city, any town, go to the mall and look at people today. What will you see? Big difference. But you see, guys, that's why we see so much pancreatic cancer. Your body wasn't made to eat carbs all day. From pizza to pasta to cereals to rice to drinking juices and smoothies and all the stuff with the sugar in it and, orange juice and all this and all that. And people go, well, geez, how come pancreatic cancer is through the roof today? Well, it's not a mystery to me. I've been screaming for years. We're carboholics. It's going to affect the rate of cancer. You got pancreatic going through the roof, esophageal, colorectal. Hey guys, those are just stats. We're not winning the war on cancer. We're losing. Because we won't face reality. And I'm not even expecting anything to change. There's a cancer industry. Do they mean well? I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. There's some good people there. I have a first cousin. He's been doing cancer research for, as long as I've been in practice. He's over 50 years. He had a wing at the University of Connecticut named after him. He's my first cousin. Researching breast cancer. He's still working. I love him. He's my cousin. He's smart. But have they found the cure? They don't even talk about food. Except that don't eat red meat. Whatever you do. You see that bacon there? That'll give you a heart attack and cancer. And I said, well, that's nonsense. It's sugar, i.e., the PET scan that we talked about yesterday. Anyway, I just had to do a little diatribe. Here's another one, guys. Here's a cancer that's out of control. And this is what really gets me infuriated. Breast cancer in women. Ovarian cancer in women. Hormonal cancers. It just drives me crazy that we see so much of that. And we wear pink. And we walk around wearing pink. And we haven't made a dent. It's worse than ever. Breast cancer. Walk for the cure. Gee. Maybe walk into the kitchen and look what we're eating. Because breast cancer is out of control. It's crazy. I was a hormonal doctor. Insulin, estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, thyroid. I was a hormonal doctor. The endocrine system. Why do we see so many endocrine cancers? Breast cancer. Men, prostate. Why? Growth hormones. Insulin's a growth hormone, so is estrogen. We're not looking in the right places. I'm not saying food is everything. I'm not saying that. But it's a big thing. And they got all the food upside down. Oh, no, you need your grains. You better have your grains. As if Frosted Flakes were better than bacon. Better have your grains, as if oatmeal is better than having eggs in the morning. Young people, they're weaned on pizza. They're weaned on it. You know how many thousands, and I mean it, over the years, especially young girls. Oh, I used to go, You know, they come into my office and, well, Dr. Martin, I can't eat anything that has eyeballs. And I said, I wanted to grab their little face and say, can I change your mind? You've been lied to. And then, okay, we live in a toxic soup. I understand all that too. Like, that's part of it. But guys, like, you can't control everything in your life, but you can certainly control what you put in your mouth every day. My word. Okay, you know what? I didn't mean to spend the whole session on it, but I would just, because people were commenting and look, it was all good feedback. I like that. You ask questions. Ask questions. What's wrong with that? I want that. Ask questions. Dr. Martin. Yeah, we love it. Okay. Okay. I promise I'm going to bring some studies. Okay. Because I got lots to comment on. Okay. Yeah. Anywho. Okay. Guys, send your questions in to info@martinclinic.com. Info@martinclinic.com. So we can get to them on Q&A Friday. Okay. Get your questions in, because if you want them public, okay, you got to get them to me. Because a lot of times I don't see them afterwards. Okay, you guys are asking questions on the scroll, and I can't see that during the program. Like, I see the writing, but I'm not reading it because I'm a senior. I can't do two things at once. Okay. We love you guys. Even though sometimes I get excited. Okay. I can't help myself. Okay. Talk to you soon.